Good morning, oh gorgeous ones. Yes, it's Tuesday, the 21st of May 2019. Welcome to the Chapel Hill Marina and this morning's United Kingdom talk. Nice to see you. Lovely to see Adrian getting very, very excited for the show today. Adrian, aren't you, my darling? Lots of people, they wait with, when I don't appear at like a normal, let's be honest, the normal time is around about 9:30, isn't it? That's the normal time, but anywhere around, in fact, any time during the day, to be honest, when I don't appear at 9:30, people start getting worried. Oh, yes, they do, dear. Three suicides were committed last week by people while I was on holiday because they couldn't see me. I know it's hard to believe, but that's what's happening in the world at the moment. You worry too much about Brexit and who's going to be the next Prime Minister and think you worry too much about that. You really do. You should worry about what's happening to me. I think that is the case. Good morning. Shall I do messages first today? I'll do messages first today. What's coming in so far? Weird City Citizen over there on YouTube. Good morning to you. JP says, hi Chris, hope you're well. How's your buddy doing? Ronnie's in hospital at the moment, as you know. He had a stomach operation. He has lots of problems with his stomach and his lungs and his back and lots of things. Anyway, his stomach at the moment being dealt with, and they've removed some sort of membrane that had grown in his stomach due to an old operation, you see, something like that, and done some other bits and pieces in there. I went to visit him on Sunday. Oh, did you see him yesterday? It was on my Facebook wall. Ow, I never got a mention in your show. Ah, well, it shows how much attention some people pay, doesn't it? Turn the television off. Turn it off. Turn it off and pay attention to me. Me. He obviously didn't watch the show. He just thought he'd go on there and say, oh, I didn't get a mention. Me. Honestly, and he did. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about it. Sunday, so I went to see him. He's at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in London. We went out for a little bite to eat. There's a bagel place. There's an absolutely delicious bagel place across the road from the hospital. There's actually lots of eating places around that hospital. There's a Subway. Oh, I noticed Subway, they've got a new bread out. You know the long French stick. I don't know why they call them subs. They're French sticks, dear. French sticks. So they got these long French sticks. They do a garlic one now, which they were advertising in the window. I haven't tried one yet, but I do like a bit of garlic bread, don't you? Oh, not cold. Not cold. It has to be warm. Do you like garlic bread? Oh, 1,000,000 calories in each bite. I'm sure there is. Oh, it's delicious, that stuff. Anyway, so that's in Subway at the moment. I'll try that soon and let you know how it is. I bet it's really nice. I have a vegetarian Subway usually. Like salad and all that. Lots of onions. I do like lots of onions in a Subway. And tomato sauce, I'm afraid to tell you. Or barbecue sauce, one of those two in there. Right? So we come out of there, cross the road. He hobbles across the road, doesn't he? Because he can't walk fast at the moment. But I'm sure he puts it on worse than it really is. I'm sure he does. So we're hobbling across this main road. And we went into the bagel place and we sat down. And a very nice cut. Well, I had two bagels, actually. I had two cream cheese bagels. I'll be honest with you, I could have just done with one. They were quite a lot. They were quite large, and they're not tight with the fillings. Nothing worse, I've said so many times before, in going out for something to eat and you don't get enough. Chips is a very good example in some of these restaurants now. I mean, it costs pennies for a potato, and they cut down on the chips. And then when you complain and say, well, that's a portion. Well, it's not a portion, darling. It's not a portion. 3 chips is not a portion of chips. Give me more chips. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a portion. Okay, well, we'll leave this here and go. Bye-bye, and walk out. That's what you've got to do. Trouble is, by that time, you're hungry, aren't you? So they're not tight with the portions in this place, and they're certainly not tight with the amount of cream cheese that they put in, which I'll be honest is very rich, and it was a bit too much, but I forced myself. We can't leave food on a plate. Never ever leave food on a plate. I forced myself to eat these 2 bagels, and that's all I had that afternoon. He had a Nutella bagel with the brown Nutella in it, and that was quite nice. A couple of drinks, and like £21, dear. 21. That's not the dearest thing I bought. That lot was 21 quid, which, okay, you're in Chelsea, you're on a main road. It's a quite fairly, I would say, high-class establishment. When you look around, you can see a lot of rich people in there. So, okay, I get that. Right, I get that. So that was very nice. And then we crossed the road, and on the way back, he said, oh, can you get us some blackberries? Funnily enough, once again, he's forgotten his wallet. Funny that, isn't it? Always happens when we're out. He's never got any money with him, dear. Never. So we went into this fruit and veg place, which looked really posh. It looks really posh, and boys and girls, it was set out beautifully, like a proper old-fashioned fruit and veg place. And outside, they've got the awning down like that, and all their produce out there, nicely laid out, oranges and all apples, all perfectly arranged and all that. And there were the blackberries, only 2 punnets there, and they weren't in plastic. They were like in a cardboard thing, as things used to be. Nothing needs to be in a bit of blooming plastic, ready to be dropped in the ocean and eaten by another whale. Why do people... No, not my sister. No, stop that now. Don't be nasty. I didn't mention you then, Adrian. I didn't mention you. Okay? All I said was plastic and whales. I made no mention of you, so stop getting up like that and shouting offence, offence, offence. Right? So... we went in there. I said, well, what, do you want one or 2? Oh, he said, can I have both? I said, of course you can. So I picked up these 2 little, and they were only small. They weren't big. They were like, I suppose, half the size of the plastic ones that you would get in Tesco's or something like that. But they were nicely arranged, proper big, fat, juicy blackberries in this little cardboard thing. So we picked up and put them there. We've gone inside. Again, inside this place. And this is like... right next to the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. It's on a corner. Oh, I haven't had my pills, have I? What's the time? 10? Oh, that's late. Can I just take my pills? Do you mind, Mum? You don't get Angela Rippon doing this. Just a minute, because I'm a bit late now. Just a minute. There we are, all better now. See, I'm not going to die in front of you today after all. That's disappointed some of you, isn't it? Very important. You only get these, if you've got a long-term thing, then you must take your pills on time, dear. Otherwise, that's what the doctor says, 10 o'clock every morning. So 10 o'clock is the time I take them. Absolutely. There we are. Now, where was I? Okay, so we got to the till, and it's all nicely ranged out in there. A lovely foreign lady came over, possibly French, somewhere like that. I love those 2. So she's got them on the till. £7.98. Pardon? Pardon? £7.98 for these 2 small things of blackberries. I said, well, I ain't buying 2. He said, no, just get the 1. And that was £4. £4 for this tiny thing of blackberries. And he let me buy them. Blooming outrageous, dear. £4? So I come out of there. I didn't let him forget, dear. I did. And then eventually he said, just give me your bank details and I'll transfer the money over to you. Oh, yeah, that old one, mate. That old one, yeah. And then 2 days later, the money's... Oh, I haven't done it yet. I'll do it in a minute for you. That old one. Yeah. By the way, do you remember I told you at work they'd started doing my money by bank transfer, paying me by bank... We cancelled that. That didn't work. No. I had to keep ringing up and reminding them. No good. And I said that right at the beginning. The problem is that the place I work, which is fantastic, I love it there and everything else, right? The problem is a lot of people are paying by cards now. And sometimes they literally don't, they have to go in all the tills and get out the little cash that's in there and put it all together to make up one of the artist's wages, whether it's me or a singer or a drug. Turn the television off, dear. Sorry. Or a... Now, you're wondering why I keep doing that. Only people in the know can do, and I can't tell you why I'm doing that. I can't tell you why. Turn the television off! Are you stupid? I can't tell you why I'm doing that, okay? I really can't. My life wouldn't be worth living, but some of you know exactly why I'm doing that, okay? So yes, I love it in here. And so I suggested to them. I said, look, well, why don't you do it by bank transfer? Oh, would you be okay with that? So I said yes. So some weeks passed, and then it was said to me, we want to start playing that bank transfer thing. Is that all right with you? I said yes. I said, what I will say is this: I don't want to get like, so I work Friday, Saturday, Monday. The idea, Friday, Saturday, they're going to do it in the bank. Monday, cash, right? So I said, so I work Friday, Saturday. I said, when do you want to put it in? He said, it'll be in there by Monday morning. Okay, Monday morning is fine. Bank holidays the next day? And I spoke to a member of staff and they said, no, because it's like a, what did he say it was? Quicker payment or something. Quick pay, fast payment? I don't know what you said now. Anyway, one of those two things. And so it will be, okay, fair enough, right? So week 1 was a bank holiday. So you look, and you know how it is when you're expecting your wages to be. I don't call it my money. I never call it that. It's wages for a job that you've done. So week 1, gone in there, right? So Monday, bank holiday, no, nothing. Okay, I'll leave it. It's the bank holiday. Got to Tuesday, no, looking, no. Got to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, picked up the phone. Oh, my wages haven't got in. Oh, sorry, Chris. See, I've had to remind them. Okay, so it was done. It was in there 10 minutes later. Straight away. Okay, good. Tuesday, normal week. Sorry, the next week, normal week. Got to Monday, nothing. Got to Tuesday, nothing. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, made a phone call, and there was some sort of excuse why it didn't happen, and it didn't arrive till Thursday. Or it might have been Wednesday, doesn't matter. But remember, I've worked Friday and Saturday for this. Now, I'm not angry or anything like that. I just... Do you know what I mean? I felt I was doing someone a favour and it's not happening. So that's the second week. I've had to ring up a few days after work and then it's not done. So it was done then. And then the next week, another bank holiday. Okay, leave it. Tuesday, not there Tuesday. I thought I'll leave it one more day this time. Wednesday, still not there. Ring up. Oh, it's the bank holiday again. And it was in there again. So 3 times, every single week I had to ring up and say, oh, no one's done it yet. So we went back to cash. I can't stand it. I can't stand having to ask for your wages. That's dreadful, isn't it? Because someone hasn't remembered. Now, I know people are busy in that, but that's how it is. So he was saying to me, yes, on Sunday, Ronnie was saying to me, oh, give us your PayPal and I'll put the money in. I said, just forget it, £4, dear. £4. And then I came home. And then Sunday night, I rang him up. I said, how's it? He said, I've got to tell you, Chris, those blackberries were delicious. Of course they were, dear. You didn't bloody pay for them. That's why. Outrageous. So, in answer to your question, JP, he's having a lovely time and he's eating a lot of blackberries. I'm not sure when he's coming out of hospital yet. JP says, I heard Nigel Farage is angry as he prefers chocolate milkshakes. Yeah, some bloke chucked, and he was an ugly bastard, I have to tell you. And normally these sort of people are. You know, he chucked a milkshake out over Nigel Farage, which is, he's the bloke in charge of the Brexit Party. He also hosts a show on LBC, which is not on at the moment. I think that's something to do because he's so busy as what do you call it? You know, trying to get people to vote for him. So he's not on LBC at the moment. Nigel Farage, actually, I quite like him, but putting that aside, okay, had it have been Nigel Farage, Theresa May, Jeremy Corbyn, who's that really lefty bloke? George Galloway, the poison dwarf from Scotland, what's her name? You know, if it had been any of those, I would still be as angry as I am for that bloke doing it. You do not. I mean, people just don't know how to behave anymore. You can't just go up to an MP of whatever party and chuck a milkshake over them. Jeremy Corbyn, he had an egg smashed over his head. No, it's not on. Bang them up. That's what I say. Bang them up. These disgusting people who can't get their own way or disagree with something, so they resort to attacking people like that. No, 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 no. Bang them up. That's what I say. Bang them up. In this case, it happened to be Farage. It could have been the little lady from Scotland. I can't remember her name now. The lady from Scotland. The lady from the Green Party. Jeremy Corbyn. I don't care who it was. It's not on. It's not on. And I do not understand what's happening with society while people are going away stabbing people, throwing things at people, chucking acid in people's faces. This time, it was a milkshake. With Corbyn, it was an egg. I mean, who was the bloke? Now, what was his name? He's a big lad, Labour bloke, I think he was, in the Labour Party. And someone, I can't remember if they threw something at him or took a swipe at him. He gave him a left hook, laid him out. Good. That's how to deal with these people. It's a shame Farage didn't do that. He should have laid that bloke out. How dare you? What gives you the right to throw a milkshake at anyone, let alone an MP or an MEP, whatever he is? It's wrong. Absolutely wrong. So that's my thoughts on that, JP, okay? Good morning to Claire. Good morning to Claire. Hi, Weird, she says. Talking to Weird City citizen there, so good morning to you. Weird City, we're waiting for you to get your pills. I've had them now. Good morning to Joe McDonald. Good morning, Joseph, who's in Espagna for 7 weeks. La da 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 da. El Viva España. Love it. Thank you. Claire used her refillable mug at Costa Coffee for the first time on the way home last night. Saved 25 pence and avoided the 2 large plastic coated cups they always give you. Need to be green. Good girl. Good girl. Nicola Sturgeon, of course, is the little Scottish lady. That's right. John Prescott. Thank you, Joseph. John Prescott. He's the one. I can't remember exactly what happened, but something happened to him, and he punched the bloke. Good. Lay him out. Absolutely. Lay him out. Lay him out. Right, over on Facebook Live, it looks like Tommy Flynn's got the first message of the day in. Good morning, Tommy. Morning to you, sir. Michael Lawrence in the house. Morning, Michael. Diane Jebb, good morning to you. Brian James. Hello, young Brian. Hope you're doing well. Mike Rees-Ponto is excited, as always. Morning to Ray Reynolds, who says it was a fab night last night at the karaoke. Thanks, have a good week. Thank you, Ray. It was a lovely night. I missed Maureen in this. There are certain people when they're not there on their particular night. Maureen's Monday and Friday. You on a Monday, you see, Ray. You on a Monday. If you're not there on a Monday, then it don't seem right. Certain people should be in place. Roy, when Roy's not there, I think, oh, Roy's not here. Last night was Maureen. It don't seem right when Maureen's not there. Oh, has she texted in yet? Let me have a look. Yeah, she's there. Ah, there we are. Maureen, because we mentioned her last night. Hi, Chris. Thanks for your good wishes last night. I did watch the show live. She's got a chest infection. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Well, I hope that clears up. That's not much fun, is it, a chest infection? Touch wood. Touch wood. I haven't had one of those for ages. I used to suffer with those a lot. Before I started having these pills, I used to suffer with chest infections an awful lot, but they don't seem to touch me anymore. I'm very, very careful about washing my hands. I don't know if you've ever noticed. A few times I disappear from the stage, sometimes to talk to people. But other times I generally wash my hands on a Monday or Friday night 3 or 4 times throughout the night. I'm always down there washing my hands. Yeah, get rid of those germs. I would also say to you, Maureen, because you do sing at a lot of karaokes, can I recommend you take around some antiseptic wipes, okay? And don't be embarrassed about doing this. Just get one out before you start singing and wipe that microphone. I've always got some with me in Central Station. If you ever want one, they'll either be next in front of the little TV screen, not the big one, the little one on the table. They're either there, or I haven't put them out yet, in which case just ask for one and I'll give you one. And wipe the top of that microphone. And the handle as well. Not just the top, the handle, because that's the bit people hold, Wipe the top of that and the handle, and that might help. I wonder if that's why you're getting so many chest infections off dirty microphones. Well, I mean, I say the dirty microphones. They're clean when they go out. But, after one person has used it, immediately there is infections, dear. Infections on those microphones. All right, so get better soon, my darling. She's also seen my latest organ video. I did play at church on Sunday. One of the hymns I played was Ave Maria, which is actually called Immaculate Mary. If you're Catholic, you'll know it. Da, 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 da. And I have got a little YouTube channel that I upload those to. those hymns that I play, sometimes at church and sometimes I do it at home. So I can't find the title of the channel, unfortunately. It just seems to be a string of letters and numbers. But if you want me to, I'll post that. I think I posted it on my Facebook wall. Yeah, I did. I posted it on my Facebook wall. So if you just go on my Facebook wall after the show, perhaps, and scroll down a little bit before the advert for the karaoke and that sort of thing, then just have a little look down there. Go down a bit and you'll find Ave Maria there. Okie doke. Good morning to... Tommy Flynn says, that's my life complete now. I can die happy. I got the first comment in. Okay, well, die then. Die. No, please don't die. We can't afford to lose viewers, dear. There's few enough of you as it is. Morning, Tommy. Good morning to the delightful LaBelle. Good morning, LaBelle. Hello, darling. Welcome to the show. She's over there in New York. Adrian Richardson, did I miss anything? I had to go and feed my pussy. No, you've missed nothing at all, my darling. Nothing at all. Hello to Vectis Humphrey on the Isle of Wight. Nice to see your church organ playing. At least it stopped you singing. I should sing along with my playing, do you think? I might sing along with my playing, actually. Hello to Alan Russell. Good morning, Alan. Michael Pullman over in Australia. Unlucky with the Eurovision there, Michael. We all thought you were going to win, Australia. We really thought you were going to win. I have now seen the winning song, The Netherlands. No, I'm sorry. I don't go for that at all. Very dreary. Dreary old song again, dear, wins. Awful. Not good. I mean, better than that toy one by Netta. I never really liked that one. But no, my money was with Sweden, actually. Or I don't put money on the Eurovision anymore because I kept losing it. I'm no good at choosing a song. You can never choose that song. When you saw the show on Saturday night and how that top leaders kept changing all the time, it could have been anyone's, couldn't it? My money was on Sweden, though. I thought that one was the best one on there. Adrian, can you keep it down and watch? I'm watching my washing machine. LaBelle says they're called subs because it looks like a submarine. Yes, it's an American nickname. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, they are. That's why it's called Subway. I prefer it called a crusty roll. It's a crusty, to me it's a crusty roll, but you're quite right. It looks exactly like a sub. Morning to Roy Brownlow. A very good morning to Roy Brownlow joining us this morning. Vectis hates tight people. Yes, well, that's you, isn't it? Tight shirts, tight trousers, tight everything. Tight pants as well. Have you got tight pants? There's nothing worse than tight pants that are cutting into your waist as you're sitting in the car, is it? Oh, dear. No need to apologise. Take your medicines. I've taken them, LaBelle. Don't worry about that. No chest infections here. Good morning to Tony Power. Let's have a look. Let's just send me your PIN number so I can send you a few quid. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Todd. Good morning. LaBelle, you shouldn't have to remind them to pay you. That's for their books as well. They need to know who got paid and what's taken out of their accounts. Yeah, I mean, I just, I understand that things get forgotten and you go on a back burner, don't you, I suppose. But no, I can't stand that. Oh, no one's done my wages yet. No, I don't chase around for money. I can't bear that. No, it's wrong. So we went back to cash in the end, and that's fine. Morning to Tony Power. Vince Cable. No, that's not who I meant. Sir Vince Cable isn't who I was talking about earlier. Roy, it was through egg, milk and flour over a local MP battered him. Isn't that awful? People shouldn't be allowed to do. He needs to be banged up, that bloke. Did you see him? Fat thing with a beard. Ugly looking bastard. You know, most of the people that are nasty are ugly looking people. They are. I'm sorry. They are. Adrian and Nigel didn't like the flavour of the milkshake. Is that right? Good morning to Robert Clarizo. This is the way society is going. Yes, you're quite right, Robert. You're absolutely right. I mean, it doesn't help. There's two things that I don't think help. Number one, reality TV shows. Things like Big Brother, Love Island, with people shouting and screaming and fighting at the other. This is real people. Now, I never really thought that drama on the telly where there is fighting and that going on, I didn't think that affected people because you see it as a story. Yeah. Reality TV, when they're on there shouting and screaming and fighting, I think this stuff like Jeremy Kyle, stuff like the Jeremy Kyle show. Oh, my wire's falling out, isn't it? I think that hasn't helped. I think that has stoked all this what's going on at the moment. I really do. And then number two, what's going on in Parliament at the moment with the MPs shouting and screaming and fighting each other in there. Okay, not physically, but nevertheless, it don't look very good on the telly, does it? So I think that's to do with it as well. Thank you very much. It was so nice to see you last night, Robert. Now, if I can just tell you, Robert is someone who was a Black Cap customer and also used to see him at a place called Trade Turnmills. It's funny. We were having this conversation last night and Robert turned up at Central Station last night. And I haven't seen him, I did say 15 years. I think it's probably more like 20. And I got to the bar and I clocked him straight away. He said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I said, "I do, but I think I'd confused him with someone else, but I certainly remembered him. You look almost the same. Just you only look a little bit older. That's the funny thing about it. You know, some people, they see you like 10 years later. Oh my God, they've aged. You haven't aged. You know, you've obviously spent a lot of money on your face, Robert." That's what it is. Is that what it is? Anyway, and I was talking to him about the fact that on a Monday, 20 years ago, him and I and a few more hundred people would be getting excited, looking forward to Saturday, to going to a nightclub called Turnmills, where the night Trade was held. And the whole week was building up to this night. And we used to go I went for years, I went for about 5 years to this club. And we used to go in there, 3:30 in the morning, and dance all night long, off our heads, all of us. All that, and we used to crawl home afterwards. Okay? And we did that for so many years. Now, Sunday morning, and we would get home Sunday afternoon around about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Seriously. And we did that every week for years. Now, my Sunday morning consists of getting up, playing the organ, or going to church, and then doing a bit of gardening. How funny is that? Which do I prefer? Ah, well, that's the question, isn't it? That's the question. Which do you prefer? I think I know. But we were talking about friends and that. And there's a particular friend that 20 years ago used to come and see me DJing in a Black Cat. And whenever I was on, he'd be there. His name was Richard. And he used to come straight in. He used to get his pint of lager, come up to the DJ box, come in the DJ box, and he would stand with me there all night long unless he fancied someone, in which case he'd be off the stage and get off with them. But that's okay. And he used to stand next to me all night long in his red Adidas top thing. And this went on for years. And then he just suddenly disappeared. And I never saw him again. And I put out a few feelers here, there and everywhere, and no one seemed to know where he was. And I came across his ex-boyfriend, who told me that he'd killed himself. And this was a few years ago, and for years I've been thinking about that. You know, because he wasn't my best friend, but he was just kind of just a special friend who would come in every day and we'd talk about things, what's been going on, this, that and the other. How was Trade, because we both went to Trade and all that, and he went to other nightclubs at the weekend. And he's like missing, like perhaps a little bit, shall we say a little bit of my heart is missing in there. He's missing in there. And I've always, whenever I thought about, a great air of sadness comes over me, thinking that he might have killed himself or did kill himself. But that's what his ex told me. Now, of course, when you split up with people, you do say things about the other person. Well, I don't. I mean, I'm as good as gold, I am. You know, if you ever want to go out with me, don't worry. I'm not going to say anything bad about you. Okay? And I mentioned this to him, and he said, "Oh, he moved up north." I said, "What do you mean he moved up north?" He said, yeah, he moved up north. I said, have you got his phone number? He said, not on me. I said, well, I was told he killed himself. And he said, no. So I'm hoping that if you, I don't know if you're still there actually, I'm hoping Robert has got that or will be able to contact him somehow and get me his number, because I'd love to see him again, to sit down, probably not in the nightclub, but in a Starbucks and have a cup of tea and a chat about how he's done. Because I don't know what happened to him, what he did, what job he does. I know nothing about him now. It was 20 years ago. So I'm hoping, I really, if there's anyone that I knew over the years who I'd like to recontact again, it's him. So I'm hoping that he is still around. So it was nice to talk to you, Robert, and lovely to see you last night as well. Come again soon. He was at the Eurovision on Saturday night in Tel Aviv. Yeah, had a really good time there, didn't you? It's a great place, Tel Aviv. I've been to Israel, as some of you know. I've done the whole thing, all the religious excursions, which actually weren't too expensive at all. I went to the Dead Sea, which is that's an experience, the Dead Sea. It really is. You lift your legs up and you just float. You literally just float there. Up to the... we went up in this lift thing, you know, outside lift thing, onto the top of a mount. Is it Mount Sinai? Might be Mount Sinai. We saw this cemetery of Jewish graves, which are very, 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 very expensive if you want to be buried at this place. Apparently, it's quite close to where they think God will appear at some point. I went in all the markets. Of course, I did all the Jesus things, Jesus and Mary things. It's a fantastic holiday. I cannot recommend you enough to go to Israel. And if you want to, you can cross over the border and go to Bethlehem. I didn't do that. I was a bit nervous about doing that. And the way that happens, because of course, Israel, Bethlehem is in Palestine, isn't it? So you have to change countries. And what happens is that little coach gets to this road and it stops. The guide who you're with, right, then takes you out the coach and you go up these stairs into what I can only describe as a large cage. Okay? So you go in this cage, right, with the guide. They have an agreement, the Israeli guides and the Palestinian guides have an agreement, right? That at that point, you then go into another little cage, right, and the door closes, and then the other door opens on the other side, and the Palestinian guide then takes you through to Bethlehem. Now, I knew there were about 3 or 4 people on our coach that did that, and they came back on the coach, obviously on our way back from our trip. What was it like? It was fantastic, but very scary, they said. And I said, did you feel something was going to happen to you? And they said, not quite, because you have to remember that when you cross from there to there into Palestine, right, they don't have anything. They are very, very poor. So you going over there and spending your money doing whatever you're doing, whether it's buying a cup of coffee or going to see something, by you doing that, you are contributing to their economy. They have nothing. So the last thing they want is for a tourist to be hurt. Because you go back, tell everyone else, no one goes and spends their money. So I would presume that you're reasonably safe doing that. But yes, so they went to see Bethlehem. But he's just been to Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is fantastic. Very cosmopolitan, shall we say. I went walking for miles and miles. As well, I went in to see a synagogue there while I was there. Yeah, that was quite interesting as well. Morning to Esther SOS Gregorian. Changed my karaoke group's Facebook name. Oh, have you? Okay. Well, I'll have a look at that later. Okay. Stop scaring people about mic usage. LaBelle, I hope you clean your microphone before you're on stage, my darling. You don't know some of those nasty other drag queens breathing their germs all over you, my love. Oh dear. Stafford, good morning, Staffy. What's your views on the Jeremy Kyle show? Awful. Awful. I'm surprised no one's killed themselves before. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. Glad it's gone. Nasty, nasty programme. Never liked it. Morning to Chris Tucker, who's he's either on the radio now or he'll be on later at coastalsound.co.uk. He's just up the road in Skegness, and I keep saying I've got to go and visit him at the radio station there, which I will do at some point, Chris, I promise you. Hope I'll do it in the next couple of weeks. How's that sound, all right? I'll do it. Can you tell us what time you're on? Maybe I'll send you a private message, and I'll come in while you're on air. All right. I know where you are. You're above the one of the shops there, aren't you? Good morning to Juan. Morning to Juan. Adrian, I'm very good looking, so I'm not what this person would. There's a lot of rude words on there this morning. Come on. You don't need to be swearing. You never hear me use those words, do you, my dear? Never ever use those words. TV is the strongest media, visual and vocal. You're right, Robert, it is. LaBelle doesn't watch reality shows. Too busy living in the realities of life. I like that. Robert's in steam all day. That's why I'm not eating. Just do you put your face over a kettle or something like that? All right. Adrian says, when he went to trade, I was never off my head. That's why you left there on your own, Adrian. You had to be off your head to get off with someone in there. The people I woke up with. Oh, it doesn't matter. LaBelle, a reunion of friends. Don't live so I can watch with a snack. Yeah, let's just scroll down a bit. Good morning to Clarissa. Hello, lovely Clarissa. All right, darling. Nice to see you up north there. Or just across from me. I'm in Lincolnshire at the moment. Tony Power. The thing about Eurovision result, Chris, is that I knew the precious day who was going to win, which is why I put in bold print on my Facebook the evening before Eurovision that the Netherlands were the winners of Eurovision. How did I know? Well, the judges cast their votes for the visuals and dress and overall performance, and it was evident that that was won by the Netherlands. Norway had put on an equally good performance for the judges. That was all right as well, but the visuals broke down during the performance. I didn't notice that, did they? I didn't even notice. Norway feared they would have been penalised and insisted they were allowed to sing their song again. Did they? Their request was turned down by the judges, and Norway was left in the hope that the actual performance would be good enough. So that's how I knew that the Netherlands had won. Everyone in the hall picked the Netherlands, and even the Netherlands had not got the most votes on the actual contest night. It was unlikely that they were going to lose. As it turns out, the judges didn't penalise Norway, and they won the judges' vote as well. But Norway was never regarded as highly as the Netherlands. So there you go. No, I didn't understand any. That's very complicated for this time in the morning, Tony. I think you're getting too into it there, lovey. I think you're getting too into it. You're very, very serious about that Eurovision thing, aren't you? Roy, thank you very much. Juan, thanks, Chris. Ronnie, I told you about Ronnie earlier on in the show, Juan. Watch back the replay later, all right, darling? Let's have a look. Oh, poor Clarissa's got a cold at the moment. Maureen's got a chest infection. Well, have we got another lot of chest infections going around at the moment? Dear me, nasty. YouTube. Where are we now? YouTube. Let me just scroll down there. Ian Days, a very good morning to Ian Days. He's there on YouTube. And Ham says, long live the Queen. Absolutely. Long live the Queen. Weird City Citizen won't miss the Jeremy Kyle trash show either. No, I don't think anyone will, to be honest. I'm not going to miss that at all. Not at all. Nice drive up here last night, actually, from London up to Lincolnshire. Now, last night, usually on the way up here, I'm a bit fast. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm a bit fast coming. I take my time going home, but on the way up here, I'm a bit fast. Last night, I restricted my speed to 65 miles an hour maximum, all the way up here. And you know what? It took 2 hours and 35 minutes. That's all. 2 hours and 35 minutes. I mean, it's helped by the fact that the A1M, which is the road, the direct road all the way up here, was completely open last night. There was a little bit of road works, but they didn't completely close it anywhere. So I kind of had a bit of a direct route. The worst part of the journey is the bit getting through London. There's all these traffic lights everywhere. But that last night was fairly quick, and I got a lot of greenies on a lot of green lights all the way from King's Cross through London onto that North Circular Road, and then you turn right onto the A1M, and then really it's a straight road. And once you're on the A1M, I think the first part of it is 32 miles long. So that's a straight road, 32 miles at speed. But as I say, last night I restricted my speed to 65 miles an hour to say, well, I wonder what time I get here. Well, I was here at a quarter to 2. You know, no later than really I normally am. Maybe about 5 to 10 minutes later. So really, and of course you save an awful lot of fuel. The reason I slowed down was not because I wanted to slow down, to be honest, but I looked at my tank and it was on a quarter. And I thought, oh, if you put your foot down on the way here, because that's when it starts sucking that petrol up. I mean, it really does make a huge difference, the speed you are going in a car to your petrol or diesel consumption. Really. I mean, miles. Really, miles. A lot of people, oh, it's only a few more miles. No, it's not. It's a lot. And if you go over 80, that's where I'm told it really starts sucking up the petrol. So you want to keep sort of, around 70. Last night I came up here 65 mile an hour. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't notice any difference. I've still got, I think, 60 miles worth of petrol in the car. So that's good, isn't it? I've got to say, this car, this new car of mine, it's the same model as I say the same model. It's the same name car as the old one. It's a Toyota RAV4, right? But it's been updated this time. New engine in it. It's much more economical than the other one. Oh my God. Right, let me tell you when I last filled up, okay? Last Sunday, not the Sunday just gone, the Sunday before. Now this is it's a big car. It's a big car, right? So I filled up, I came up Sunday and I filled up here, just down the road in Boston, at Apple service stations. They seem to be Apple service stations and Audi. Not Audi, what's the other one? Asda seemed to be the cheapest petrol. So I filled up at Apple this time. From there, I went to Mablethorpe, which is a little bit further than Skegness. Okay? Now, admittedly, so that was Monday I got there. So Sunday I've come back here, and then Monday morning I've driven to Mablethorpe, right? Now, at that point, I've parked my car next to my caravan, and I didn't use it all week. But nevertheless, from Mablethorpe on Friday, I came back here, had a little sleep. Friday afternoon, I went down to London. Okay, I did my job at Central Station on Friday night. I then drove back to Bracknell. Okay. Saturday, I drove from Bracknell to London, King's Cross, and then King's Cross back to Bracknell. Sunday, I drove to Wokingham, which isn't too far. It's only about 5 or 6 miles. Maybe 10 miles. Drove to Wokingham. From Wokingham, I drove into the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in London. See my friend. Then I came back home Sunday night. Then Monday, I've driven to King's Cross and I've come back up here. All on one tank of fuel. That's good, isn't it? That's good. It's got one of those little fuel indicators. Tells you how many miles you're doing to the gallon. I'm getting 60, 65 miles to the gallon sometimes in that big car. That's good, isn't it? Toyota car, you see. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic on that. I tell you that now. I've got I can't find the tank meter. You know, the little meters that tells you how many miles you're doing and miles per gallon and all that stuff. I got the odometer, you know, the one that tells you all the miles that car has ever done. I've found that. I've got that. I've got a trip meter, which seems to reset every time you turn the car off. Okay, so it tells you how many miles you've done and how long you've been driving, which last night was 2 hours and 34 minutes coming up here. But I can't find the other meter, which you know, the one that you reset to tell you how many miles you're getting to a tank of fuel. I can't find that. Funny, isn't it? I'll have to ask them down at the Toyota next time I go. Well, I'm hoping not to go now for 10,000 miles. That's where my next service is. But really, really pleased with that car. I had a car full of plants last night. I've bought some more plants up here. Here at the caravan, some people have got wonderful little gardens and lawns. I don't have a lawn here. I've got paving stones next to the caravan. Quite a largish area, which I could take up and put a lawn down, but I don't want to. So I've got some big pots that I bought up from Bracknell. And I've been to the garden centre and B&Q twice here to buy some plants. And I was going to do that again this week, and I thought, I might still do it actually. But I thought, why don't I just take up some of the spare plants from down home? So that's what I did. So last night, I had a car full of plants in the back last night, you know, all in black plastic bags and that sort of thing. 2 of them were quite dry, so I've plonked those in a bucket of water before I come in to do the show today. So I shall be doing that straight after I do the show today, putting my plants in pots and things like that, which I like doing. Oh, you remember those solar lights I told you about? The little ones that I got from Aldi, right? That come on as you walk past them. Sorry, useless. I bought 8 altogether. 3 of them have now failed. They are absolutely useless. Don't buy them. They're little square things like this, and they're about 4, 5, 6 or 7 quid. Don't buy them. Okay? They fail, and they fail quickly. Not only mine, but my mate Ronny bought some as well, and I think 2 of his has failed. He bought 4, and 2 of his have failed as well. Absolutely useless. They actually do solar street lights. Have you seen those? You can buy these online. They're not cheap. They're about 80, 90, depends what you want. I think they start at about 50 quid and they go up to like 200, depending what you want. I don't know if they would be more reliable than these £4 jobs, really. But the £4 jobs, don't bother yourselves, boys and girls, okay? They just don't work. They're dead within a few months, okay? Don't bother yourself. So that's the solar lights. Let's have a look. Good morning to Joanna, joining us very late. Good morning, Joanna. Morning, Joanna. Vectis says you drive fast. Very, very rarely. Very, very rarely do I drive fast. Clarissa is she's going to the Download Festival in 3 weeks at Donington. Oh, you'll have a lovely time there. Clarissa, have you spoken to James recently? He's not at the radio anymore, which is disappointing for him, really. I don't think he's going to go back into radio. The trouble is with radio now, there's very, very few jobs in radio. I'm glad I never tried to get in. I mean, I'm not saying I would have done anyway, but I never tried really to get into radio because I felt it was too restrictive. I just like to do what I like to do. Do you know what I mean? I can't have some bloke in an office say, "Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't. Oh, you got to play this record. Oh, can't be doing with all that. Just go out and do your own YouTube stuff and all that. You're much happier." Is that Mark Jenkins? Good morning, Mark. Mark Jenkins is there. Good morning, Mark. Nice to see you, sir. Let's have a look. I just scrolled down a little bit there. Adrian, if you lose more weight again, your car will become much more economical. Oh, it's so hard, Adrian. It's so hard losing that weight again. As you well know, dear. I can't do it anymore, Adrian. I can't do it anymore. I will at some point. It's just finding the right moment to do it again, isn't it? All I've got to do is go to Slimmer's World and it'll fall off. It will fall off because then you're back into the frame of mind. I'm just not in that frame of mind at the moment. He says, if you lose more weight again, your car will become even more economical to drive and you save so much money on your economical car journeys. Do you fill your tank up totally when you go to the petrol station? Yes, always. In fact, I fill it up. I actually look at the top so I can see it. And when it gets to the top, then I stop. I can't be going to petrol stations every 5 minutes. Juan is recommending STP products. What's that then? Various grades of fuel. That's something you add to your fuel, isn't it? Something you add to your fuel yet? So there we are. Juan says solar street lamps light all over New York City for the longest time. Is that a fact? Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know any of the UK roads have got solar lights. Most of us got LED lights now, but they're not solar. They are powered. You know, but you can, in fact, you can find them on Amazon. If you want to type in on Amazon, if you've got 5 minutes later on, type in solar street light, okay, in Amazon, and you'll get all these street lights that are solar. I love it. I love all this renewable energy stuff. I love it. I might buy one. I'm not going to spend 200 quid on one though. I might just buy one and see how it is. Yeah, I could put that on a pole sort of just outside my caravan there. Fantastic. or even outside in the back garden of my house, something like that. And the sun just charges it all the time. Fantastic, fantastic. Morning to Mark Cording. Morning to you. Morning. Oh, John's not there either, Clarissa. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Mike says people don't realise you have to change the rechargeable batteries in solar lights every year. Well, not in these ones. They're just dead within a couple of months. Well, weeks, actually. I think they've only been up about 5 weeks, Mark. They're useless. I'll tell you what, one of those that's broken. I'll take it down because you may not have seen them when I showed it. And I'll show you what they look like. Please don't buy those cheap solar lights, especially the ones for the garden. They're just bloody useless. There's people. I think a lot of people buy these solar lights. Oh, I won't need to put the lights on anymore. All they do is glow. They do not shine. Honestly, useless. Morning to Mark Cording. Yes, sunny day today, as it is here, Mark. I'm going to go out in my garden in a minute and do my bits and pieces. Thank you, Clarissa. Juan. A catch, however, on the New York City solar. What's the catch on the solar street lights? What's the catch on them? Oh, they just work and that's it, don't they? I think they're pretty good, really. I think I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. I'll have a look on Amazon later and I'll get a little bit one that's. I don't want to get to one that's too expensive. I'll get one that's a bit more expensive and see how that goes. I'll have to look though where I can fix it to. Might have to go on a pole. I'm allowed to put a pole up in front of my caravan. That's allowed. Went to the dentist yesterday. Nothing wrong with my teeth, as usual. As usual, if you're a regular viewer to the show, you'll know that some years ago I used to go to a private dentist. What's that? Wire's falling out again. I used to go to a private dentist and I spent hundreds there. Over the years, I spent hundreds. There wasn't a single time that I went. Yes, there was once. Once. Every single time I went, there was a filling to do, or this, or that, or something to do. Always, except for one occasion. And I used to spend, I suppose I'd go to them and never spend less than 200 quid at the dentist. Right? About 5, 6, 7 years ago, I stopped going there and I booked in at the NHS dentist. Okay? I've been going there 5 or 6 years, never had to have anything done. Only a checkup, 22 quid. Shocking. So if you go to a private dentist and you find that every time you're being charged an arm and a leg for this, this and this, you know, because they charge for everything, x-rays, the whole blooming lot. If you find that, then I would recommend you try an NHS dentist because you're being ripped off. I'm sure I was ripped off all that time. Anyway, I went to see him again yesterday. Once again, he got the old rusty nail out, poke in my teeth. and that was it. Yep, nothing wrong with your teeth again, Chris. Did 2 x-rays, all included in the £22. The x-rays are good now, aren't they? It's very clever. They put this thing, he did, and then look straight on his computer and it's there, straight away. No sending the film away or anything like that. I think it's brilliant, that. And then he did that cleaning thing. Now, here's the thing. Does anyone, you probably, if you go to the dentist, and I hope you do, we don't like people that don't go to the dentist. You must get it done. You know that thing? What cleans your teeth? I think it's an ultrasonic thing. Now, often when it's doing that, it hurts me because I've got sensitive teeth. What I did yesterday, here's a good bit of advice. What I did yesterday was I brushed my teeth with the Sensodyne, you know, the really thick Sensodyne toothpaste. Right, literally just before I left the house. And I didn't rinse my mouth out, okay? So I went, you know, in the sink, spat in the sink, right? And then I left, got to the dentist and he did his stuff. It didn't hurt yesterday. That thing didn't hurt at all. I thought any minute now he's going to hit that spot, any minute now, and he didn't. And I said that to him. I said, well, that makes a difference by using a good amount of sensitive toothpaste before you go and see the dentist. That really stopped the pain in my teeth. So try that next time. If you're one of those people that goes in there, and usually when he pokes around with that thing, that's never been a pain. But that thing always, sorry, like that. You know, you go like that. By using sensitive toothpaste, do it in your mouth. Before you leave the house, don't rinse your mouth out. Just spit it out. Go to the dentist. Then when he's doing that, it won't hurt. Okay? My little bit of advice for you. I also, while I was in there, I was asking him about, have you seen those jet wash flossing devices? Yeah? So they're like a large toothbrush, but they got a little attachment on, and it shoots water out the top of it. Right? And the idea is that flosses your teeth instead of using the bits of string. Now, those bits of string, I floss my teeth every day, okay? The only one I can use is the Oral-B string thing, not the tape. The tape gets stuck between my teeth. Now, if I use a supermarket own brand of floss, I find that breaks or it gets stuck in your teeth, and that's annoying because then it moves your tooth slightly, doesn't it? And you go, oh, it's broken. I hate that. The Oral-B one doesn't break and it works. So that's the one I use. So but my mate's other half, Andy, he's got the water thing. And I was watching him. I was having a FaceTime with Ronny before he went in hospital. And they were both in the bathroom together, and the other one was doing his teeth. And I said, what's he got in his mouth? That's a water flosser. Oh my God, the mess. The mess. And I thought, well, it looks a bit messy. But I thought to myself, well, if it does the job, then maybe I'll buy one of those. And I looked them up. The cheap ones are about 30 quid, and they're a bit like toothbrushes. You know, you can go down the supermarket and get a manual toothbrush for like 50 pence, or you can buy the Philips Sonic Air toothbrush for like 250 quid. Okay, similar with these water things. I think my mate's other half, he's got one sort of in the 40 or 50 pound range, and he puts the water in the bottom, and it fires the water at force in between your teeth. And I thought that looks really good. Is that better than than that thing? So I asked my dentist about that. Yes, Mo the dentist, his name. He's very, very good, very efficient. I think he's from Slovakia or somewhere like that, or the other one beginning with S in that area. Can't think what it is now. But he's very, very efficient. Very efficient. He gets on with the job and he's nice. Young bloke he is. And I asked him about those. Is that any better? He said, to be honest, no. He said, there's nothing wrong with them. They're all right. But they're no better or worse than having the string. He said, save your money. So I thought, I'll save my money. I'll save my money and do it like. So I just carry on with the old bits of string there. Right, just a moment there, my darlings. Let's just scroll back up there. Okay, be with you in a second. Where are we? There we are. Clarissa. Scott's doing. Yes, Scott. Scott, of course, he's on Tameside Radio. Scott, if you watch the X Factor, you will have known Scott. He's a lovely bloke. He is. When he was on X Factor, he was a young lad, and I never forget the time that he was voted out, and he was like broken. You looked at the stage, and I just felt, oh, how could you do that to someone? He looked absolutely broken when he got kicked off the X Factor, as everyone does, except the winner in the end. But it wasn't his fault. He's very good. Anyway, he carried on in a musical career. He'd done theatre. He's in music. He'd been in musical theatre. Now he does the breakfast show on Tameside Radio. Yeah, I did see that. Good luck to him. So he must be very good. I've not actually heard him do a radio show yet. I must try and join him at some time. The trouble is, I'm not up. I'm doing this at that time in the morning, you see. Morning to Paul Rustling. Morning, Paul. Sunny on the Yorkshire Tears today. I'm sure it is. The Yorkshire Riviera. Yorkshire Riviera. I like it. I love Yorkshire. You know that. I love you. It's such a beautiful part of the country there. Mark's off to working tomorrow to see Rock of Ages. Da da da. Da, 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 da. My friend Anthony Costa from Blue, isn't it? Is he one of the Blue people? Which one is he? Anthony Costa. Is that the black guy? Black or white? What's he look like? I'm not sure which one it is. Do tell us. What's that? Con Edison used the increased... Oh, we're talking about the solar street lamps there. Okay. Adrian, when you went to see the dentist and you are spitting, did it remind you of trade? Yes. Mike, NHS dentists have 3 charge bands. Band 1, £22.70. That's what I paid yesterday. Band 2, £62.10. And band 3, £269.30. Which is probably still a lot. You know, what that's by, presumably that's for a crown or something like that, is it? I don't know. Probably something like that. Dentist, NHS dentist for years. I had to go when I was a little boy. 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Because I had braces. My teeth were like that. I used to go to this, the orthodontist in Kingston Hospital, and I'd have to go there I think it was every 6 weeks or something, and I had the whole metal thing in my mouth. These days, these kids have these metal things in their mouth. Well, they don't. I mean, they're practically invisible. Very, very different. I had the Jaws. Literally, you know Jaws on the James Bond film? That's how my mouth was. Really. Adrian goes to a private dentist, and extremely good. They don't overcharge, look after extremely well. That's why I travelled 26 miles to go and see them. I understand that, yeah. I trust them. I wouldn't let someone in my mouth if I didn't trust them. I get that, Adrian. It's like going to see your hairdresser, isn't it? Once you trust someone, you will travel to go and get done, wouldn't you? Absolutely. It's like my hairdressers. I got 2 hairdressers that I really like. One's at Max in Wokingham, but while I'm coming up here, I go and see H because he's on the way to the swimming pool. So it makes sense to go and see him. And he does it. He does my hair. And he does it all round there, and he does that thing, you know, that thing there. I get hot towel, and he charges £18 for that. I'll give him 20. £18 for that. I think that's very reasonable for that work. Really is. Thank you. Thank you, Juan. I'll have a look at that as well. Mark enjoyed the Norway Eurovision entry. Mike says, can't stand the pointy thing my dentist sticks in my mouth. Oh, the rusty nail, you mean? The rusty nail, I call it. All right. Right, we're going to do today's birthdays now, boys and girls. I didn't realise I'd chatted so long this morning. I did want to restrict the show to 45 minutes, dear, but we've done an hour again. Never mind. Happy birthday on this Tuesday, the 21st of May 2019, to John Moore. Are you 47, John? Gosh. Also known as Mrs. Moore, a highly successful drag queen who I knew before he was a drag queen or a DJ. And he's a lovely, lovely, lovely person. He really is. Heart of gold. John Moore, Mrs. Moore, happy birthday to you, 47 years old. It's quite a few years since I saw you now. But happy birthday. I'm glad you're doing really well there. All right. Happy birthday today to Sherree Link, who's a young 50 years old today. Good morning, Sherree. Happy birthday. Ruby V, 74 years old. Lovely photo, Ruby V. Thank you. Joanne McGivney today is 42 years old. Richard Judd today is 48 years old. Tom Lingard is 24 years old. Mike Lauer, morning Mike, 47 years old. Lynn Levette reaches 59 today. Good morning, Lynn. Happy birthday. Jason Winter, happy birthday to you today. And Gordon Haley as well. Happy birthday to Gordon. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Now, if you're wondering where the music is for that, I still have not loaded that onto this computer. It's not on any of the other computers I've got. I thought it was on one of the laptops, but I don't. I'll have another look on the. I've got another laptop with me now that my work laptop is here today as well. So I'll have a look on there, see if it's there. Just a case of putting it onto a memory stick and loaded it onto the computer, but I still haven't done it. That's why there's no music while I'm singing that up here, okay? Mark says he just heard a plane. Yeah, we've got the RAF. They practice every day, Mark. They practice every day. They've got the triangular and they fly in formations and everything. It's very, very clever. Anyway, that's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us, boys and girls. I hope to see you again at some time tomorrow. All right? Apart from that, have a lovely day and get out in the sunshine. I'm going to go and do my plants now while having a cup of tea as well. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.